The initial challenge we faced was coming up with a design that would maximize the efficiency of the system while taking into consideration the design constraints we were given. It was also difficult for us as a group to all agree on one design, so we spent too much time in the design phase. Once we made it to the construction phase, we had trouble finding an optimal base shape that would both focus the light to one area while also being practical and collapsible. Another challenge with the base was the collapsibility itself. We could not find an ideal hinge that was both strong and flexible, so we had to settle for the base being in pieces rather than one unit. The last challenge we faced was finding a container that would be conductive but still fit well in our design. In the end, we decided to use a copper bowl due to its price and conductivity.
Our research component allowed us to find out lots of key information. Globally, 1 in 9 people still have no access to clean water. On average, contaminated waterborne illness killed 3.4 million people yearly. It is estimated that for every $1 spent on improving water and sanitation yields, up to $12 in economic returns will come. The first known use of stills dates back to 1551 when it was used by Arab alchemists. And our research that we did helped us weigh the benefits of using a solar still compared to other forms of water purification.
Going into Fed, we decided as a group that we wanted to place. That meant first, second, third, or an honorable mention. We felt that our design had the capability to do that. We knew that we were extremely below the height and weight constraints that we were given. In the end, we did what we wanted to do. Our design was awarded an honorable mention with our 4th overall finish. One question that people always ask at the end of any group project is, what would you have done differently if you started this project over today? One major thing that we would have done differently is stick to one design from the beginning. Throughout the design process, we changed our design too many times just to change it. This really ended up almost hurting us in the end because of the time constraint that we'd put on ourselves. Another big thing is the time we started because of the circumstances that we were under. We started discussing our design a little too late. This caused us to cram a little bit in the end, but all in all, it ended up working. If we started this project earlier, we maybe could have come up with a more intricate design that maybe could have won the entire competition instead of the 4th place finish that we had.
So we had 4 main suggestions to future groups to improve on our process. First was to have better hinges so that the design could be collapsible. Possibly in the future, if you have access to a 3D printer, that could definitely allow you to make some sort of interlocking design, which would be a lot more efficient as well as more durable. Secondly, using better materials, and what we mean by that is mostly by using the budget more wisely. We spend over half the budget on simply the copper bowl. Finding a more cheap option, or possibly like in the future, if the project had a larger budget, this problem could be solved. I'd also try to keep the design simple. That was the thing we probably did the best, was that having the fewest amount of parts possible to have the complete functioning design, but also to keep the weight down as well as to make it as easy to use as possible. And finally, trying to come up with a more efficient way of collecting water. So the biggest problem with this was that our condenser, the surface area, was much too low to collect the vapor that we did produce, and so possibly having a larger, with the same design, a glass bowl over the evaporating water, this could solve that problem.